Hey, I'm vocal coach Jamie Vendero. We're back for another singer spotlight, this time with an amazing singer named Angela Brooks. Angela, I'm very, very, very happy to have you here today.
Thank
I'm hoping you're excited too.
you. Yes, I am.
Well, I want to start off with you telling us about yourself. I want to know where you're from, what you like to sing, how you got started in singing, and all that good stuff.
Okay. I am from the Central Valley of California. I like to sing a lot more than I like to listen to. So just about anything that has good melody, decent harmony, good range, country a little bit, rock a lot, classic rock, jazz, blues, just kind of everything. If it's good, it's good. That's the way I look at it. And I started singing, if you ask my parents, before I could talk, because when I would wake up in the morning, instead of crying for their attention, I would be singing like nonverbal things, like la 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 or something like that. And I guess thinking back when I was a little girl, my parents would be driving, I'd be in the back of the car seat, they'd be talking to each other, we'd go on a long car trip, and they'd be playing Captain and Tennille on the stereo, and so that's what I would hear. And I honestly think about 45% of my vocabulary came from songs instead of people because of that. But that's when I first started singing, and I guess I just kind of considered it a major form of communication from that point forward.
I'm the same way. It was Captain Tennille, Jackson 5, Grease.
I so wanted to be Olivia Newton-John.
Well, I wanted to be, it's not Hickey from Kinnicky, but I wanted to be John Travolta, Summer Lovin'.
Happened so fast.
Oh, yeah, that was an awesome, awesome movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we were just talking before we started this interview, and you did say that you've recently joined a band.
Yes.
So I kind of want to know a little bit about that. I want to know, like, tell me about the band, how you got started, how you got the gig, and all that good stuff.
Well, I was in another band, and that band kind of fizzled out, and the bassist from that band was in this other band, and they were going to be losing one of their lead singers, two lead female singers, and so he asked me, hey, would you be interested? And I said, sure, why not? So I tried out, and I got the part. It's called Strings Attached, but we're still amping up for our first gig. We keep getting all these offers. Oh, can you do 2.5 hours on this night and 3 hours on this night? And we're not quite there, and we're trying to hurry up and get there before the momentum dies down. But we do covers, but I get involved here and there with writing some originals. I love to write originals. I love to take something raw and make something out of it and add harmonies and all that kind of stuff. So I sing occasionally with some of the local bands, just kind of guest sing here and there. So.
Well, with Strings Attached, what are you working on for your set list? Like, what type of songs are you singing?
Oh gosh, we're doing all kinds of genres. We're doing mostly rock, a fair amount of classic rock. I do some country. I do "You Give Love a Bad Name" by Bon Jovi, my own version of it.
Oh, I sang that in the '80s, and that "Shout to the" when he starts it, it used to scare my sound man every time because I did it a cappella. Bam! You give love a bad name. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I decided to kind of, at the ends of it, kind of take it up an octave to give it a little bit of my flair, just at
That's
the end
cool.
of it. And then I do some Taylor Swift,
Cool.
and we kind of do a little classic rock, a little modern rock, I could do Crush, Crush, Crush by Paramore. Yeah, we do a little Motley Crue. So it's an interesting mix.
Well, that's good. That's good. You enjoy to sing. Now, do you play any instruments as well, or you just sing?
I play at the guitar.
Okay. Well, I just asked because you said that you write, so I figured, I play piano, and that's how I write. But I always write, sloppy Captain and Tennille type songs.
Right.
So luckily, my guitar player, he's pretty hardcore. He writes some really cool stuff. But we gel really well together. So he handles all the heavy stuff. I do all the pretty, Yanni pieces.
Well, the way I do it is usually, I have several friends that are really good guitarists, so they'll maybe put a little riff or a little cycle of riffs down, and I'll come up with something to that, and I'll say, well, hey, instead of doing that here, could you do that here, or could you bring this back in and cycle it a couple times, or maybe instead of taking this direction, we take it this direction, or maybe this now and then a little higher later, kind of like that.
Well, do you hear, like as you're writing a song with somebody, do you hear a melody that comes to you, just start humming along, or do lyrics start forming in your mind?
Sometimes the lyrics will come and I'll have an idea of where I want to take a song before that medium comes along, or sometimes I'll wait and I'll hear it and then I'll hear a melody. And usually it's based on some kind of emotion that I recently felt. So mostly I think I'm listening to it and then the melody comes along. And then I usually wind up tweaking it from that point.
Yeah, we sound very similar. That's kind of what happens with us. Or Scott will present an idea, like, you know, this is kind of what the emotion I hear for the song. This is kind of what I want to write about, and then it unfolds. So you said you had a former band, so I'm assuming you do have experience with playing out, and you know, I'm sure you've played many gigs. How do you deal with stage fright or nervousness, or do you even get nervous or anything like that?
Well, you know, I did some things when I was a little kid. I did some things when I was an early teen. I did some things in choirs where there's not so much stage fright because it's a group. I sang for a few weddings in my early 20s, but I haven't done a lot of big gigs, but a few decent-sized gigs. And I guess stage fright is, I think I just, like anything in life, the things that are the best are going to be a little bit uncomfortable, really. And if you don't kind of just give it your all when you have the opportunity, you've screwed yourself. So that's what I tell myself. It's like, this might feel uncomfortable, but I got to give it my all because this is me doing my thing, and I got to put my best foot forward. And then I also try to keep myself zoned into the music. You know how when you start singing, you get a real feel for the song? Mm-hmm. I make a real effort to not pay so much attention to the audience, as in, you know, really seeing them, but more getting a feel for the song so that I can connect with that. And once I'm there, it's all good.
Then you just float. You just float. So when you're rehearsing, or even when you're performing, what does your warm-up consist of?
Oh gosh. Well, before I go to practice for my band, I'll do things like, you know, the shoulder rolls and stretches and neck and all that, bubbles, resonant Z's, gargle tone, sing a simple song softly just to get the blood flowing through there, and then I might do, after all that, a siren to stretch out my vocal cords. But I gotta say, not that it has to do with warm-ups, but transcending tone has been just an awesome eye-opener for me. I love that exercise. I love it.
I'm glad you do. I hate it. I mean, it is the most amazing exercise you'll ever do, and I can tell, of course, from your Facebook posts and stuff, which I'm humbled by. I can tell just by what you're saying now that you have raised your voice and you are applying it, because you mentioned the resonant Z's, the gargling tones, transcending tones. Yeah, it is such, and it's nothing new. I didn't create this. I actually learned it from my vocal coach, Thomas Appel, who actually learned it. It's an old exercise called Messa de Voce, but it's just so phenomenal. I mean, it really shows you these different tonal variations of your voice, and teaches you to work through those weak spots, you know, as you're bringing the vocal cords together. So it is a crazy exercise. When you started it, though, was it easy, or was you like, oh my gosh, this is was it crazy?
It wasn't mind-blowingly hard. It was more like, huh, this is interesting. Am I doing this right? I think I am doing this right, but it was a little shaky. And what really led me to try to work on it more and more was, you had said in something I heard that anything you can sing in head voice, you can sing in your full voice.
Actually, I said anything you can sing in falsetto.
Falsetto, yeah, that's what it was. Anything you can sing in falsetto, you can sing in your full voice. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, no, there's no way, right? So I played with this a little bit, and then I did the siren too, and I found that in my siren I could go higher in full voice than I did when I was singing. I'm like, that can't be. That just can't. Something's weird here. It's all in here or something. I don't know. So I did the transcending tone thing a while, and then I sang a song that I normally had to do in falsetto, which I didn't like it because it didn't sound right in falsetto. It was a rock song. And then I was able to do it in full voice. And then I thought, no, I must be singing that in the wrong key. So I went back to my iPod and listened to it. And holy cow, I was singing that in the right key in my full voice. Whoa! So I passed this information along to my son, who's enjoyed an increased range as a result of these exercises.
Well, I got to know. I want to put a time frame on this. So, as of today, this interview, how far back are we talking when you started playing with these exercises? A year, 2 months, 6 weeks? I mean, when did this all start for you?
Well, I got the book, saw your first video, was probably 3 or 4 months ago.
Wow, and you're already making that much progress that quick.
Well, I had been singing with my diaphragm, but things that you said kind of made it more applicable to me. And once I started doing that, that very day, I probably gained about 5 notes on the top and 3 on the bottom.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like, woohoo!
Yeah, and just so people know, that's not a typical thing. It doesn't always happen. It can happen, just like it did for you, Angela, in that first day, especially if you already built muscular development, but you just are kind of attacking it wrongly.
Right.
So all you did is you read the book, you adjusted a few things, and it opens you up. We all have the ability to do that, but some people, it may not happen in a day like that. It may take a week, may take a month, may take 6 months, for them to reach that point. But that's a beautiful testimony that it happened that quick for you. So that's cool. So now that you're into it, and I know you're warming up, what do you practice? I mean, do you go through all 3 exercises? Do you practice 5 days a week, 3 days a week? What is your daily vocal exercise regimen like?
Well, I do a lot of sirens, double sirens, transcending tone, and then if I'm having problems with a note, like the songs in my band don't really stretch my range all that much. But occasionally I'll do a song with somebody else that does, or I'll want to do a song that does. And so I will take things that you've taught me, make sure that I'm breathing correctly, make sure that I'm putting the correct pressure in my abdomen area, diaphragm, to get up there. Because if I haven't really done that and really concentrated on it, then I haven't really tried. Mm-hmm. So I concentrate when I'm home by myself. And so I'd say I do these things every day, because when I'm not at practice, which we just started doing 2 days a week, or somebody else's rehearsal, because I'm going to guest sing with them on the weekend, I'm singing. And before I'm singing, I'm warming up. And before I'm singing, I'm exercising. And then I'm singing. It's a constant, this tiny little house between myself and my son doing these warm-ups and doing these exercises and singing these songs. It's crazy around here. Crazy.
That's cool. I wish my son would have got into it. He played a little bass, but all his friends were like, dude, your dad's this vocal coach for Dream Theater. Why aren't you learning to sing? And he's like, sometimes you just can't get your children to do it. And, I got to let him be his own person. So,
yeah, from the very time he was very little, I let him be his own person. I never imagined he'd want to sing. And then I started trying to learn to play guitar, and he goes, hey, what are you doing? And he plays it 10 times better than I do. And then he was trying to sing Avenged Sevenfold once, when the lead singer's voice at that time was a little nasally, and he was mimicking him. And I said, oh my gosh, if you're going to sing, you're going to sing right. And I taught him a little how to sing from his diaphragm. And now he's, just singing all the time in his own band. And it gets crazy around here because we're doing all that stuff.
Well, that sounds like my son. He's nuts about Avenged Sevenfold. That's his favorite band.
Cameron, too. Same thing.
Yeah. So I'm a child of the 80s, so I still love Bullet Boys, and of course Nitro, since Jim taught me to shatter glass, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Well, how did you actually find out about me? I mean, were you decide to search for a coach online? Did you hear about me from a friend? Did you see Mythbusters, or what? How did you find out about Jamie Bandera?
Kind of strange. Believe it or not, I was searching on YouTube for how to do a vocal fry, and I saw this video. Somebody was teaching how to do a vocal fry, starting with like that. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned your name and said you were an awesome vocal coach. And I thought, well, wait, I thought you were the vocal coach. Well, if this guy thinks that guy's good, well, then I'm gonna go check. So then I searched Jamie Bandera, and then I saw these videos, and I'm like, huh, because I kind of attribute it to, if I want to change the oil on my car, I can do that. But if I want to change the engine, I need to know the mechanics behind that.
Absolutely.
And the thing that I noticed right off the bat was you're giving the mechanics of it all, not only what works, but why it works. If you need more of this, try that. It was real direct things to do with real direct results. And if, you know, some of them take a while, but it's teaching the real mechanics behind how to make it work, how to become.
I'm always humble too, because I know a lot of people actually have talked about me in videos on YouTube, and I don't have a whole lot of videos on YouTube. I know some coaches are just putting out hundreds upon hundreds. I throw mine into the academy, but it always freaks me out that these other coaches and singers are like, yeah, try this out. Oh, you got to check out Jamie. So I'm glad. I'm glad that you found me. I'm glad that it's helping. So I know you said you gained 5 and 3. What other results have you noticed from the training? Can you sing longer? Do you have more stamina? I mean, what is really changing for you with your voice?
I definitely have more projection, more stamina. My voice lasts for longer. And also I'm more aware of my vocal health and when to stop. But yeah, I definitely have more projection, and I think by accident, you know how some people have a hard time finding their style?
Mm-hmm.
Before I started listening to and reading your book, your techniques, I want to say I felt like it was very vanilla, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
In the process of becoming a stronger singer, somewhere my own style kind of came about. It was kind of a neat happenstance or accident or a result of just working harder. Not really sure why, but it's cool.
No, it's so funny you mentioned that, because I'm actually one of my favorite singers is a guy named Ray West, who was in this 90s band called Spread Eagle, and they came out like 2 years too late. They should have came out when Skid Row and Guns N' Roses came out, because they were just as good, if not better. This band was amazing, and Ray and I have been working on the book for 3 years. It's Ray's book, but I produced it. I kind of co-wrote it, where I would oversee it and kind of lead things, but it is about that exact thing: how to find your style, how to find them, and it's called Melody to Madness, how to find the melody within madness, because a lot of singers do have trouble finding their style. But you just said something so important. If your voice is not strong enough and you really don't understand your range potential, how far you can truly push your voice for these different tones, it is going to be kind of rough to find your own style. You know, you're going to be kind of stuck in the vanilla zone. So that's probably what happened. You got some more stamina, some more power, and it's starting to open up for you, which is great, which is awesome.
Right. I think it was also singing a lot of songs and a lot of different songs, a lot of different styles. And then, well, for instance, one of the songs I sing is Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar. So I'll give you an example. You can sing it very vanilla, hit me with your best shot, or you can hit me with your best shot, and really push it.
Absolutely.
It was playing around with the pushing and the attitude of it that kind of in there, not just that song, but a few other songs, kind of incorporating little bits of this and that and that. And, oh, wait a second, I sang that. Oh, wow, that was interesting. Hey.
and you probably, like, just show me the 2 versions. I bet you're going to say, and it didn't feel like any harder for me now to add that more oomph with the second one, because I'm supporting correctly. My muscles are stronger. Where, you know, if someone who is untrained, they're going to be like, Angela, how did you do that? I can't get that loud. I can't hit it with that much force. But it isn't much different, you know, if you truly train and understand the technique. So that was cool. So when you do get out and you're gigging, and I know this is going to happen, somebody after the gig is going to run up to you and be like, how do you sing that way? You know, Angela, can you give me advice on how I can become a better singer? What did you do? And again, this isn't about me. This is about whatever you would offer them. What would be like the best piece of advice that you could give them to start becoming a better singer like today?
One piece? Can I give 2?
You can give 16 if you want.
Well, let's say I only had a few minutes. I would say, first of all, do you already like to sing, or did you just like the show? Oh, I love to sing. Okay, here's my advice. Sing from your diaphragm. Since we don't have time to teach you that right this minute, you know, find out what that means on your own. Once you do that, sing from your heart. So whatever you're singing, make sure it applies to you somehow, or apply it to you somehow, and sing with all that feeling that it makes you think, and you're going to knock it out of the park. I guess those are the 2 pieces of advice I would
Absolutely. And let's think about it. There are some amazing singers out there, and I don't want to knock anyone to say they don't have technique, because everyone has some sort of technique, whether it's correct or not. But you think about emotional singers like Joe Cocker or
Mhm.
Janis Joplin. You might say, "Hey, man, their correct vocal technique really wasn't that good." Maybe you wouldn't say that, but as a coach, you might. But holy moly! I mean, just oh. I love both those singers.
Right,
They're just amazing, just amazing. So
right,
much heart and so much soul, and
right.
that's why we sing. You
And
know,
even even a rock song, yeah, for sure. Even a rock song. I mean, sometimes it might be something to get you amped up or piss you off. Sing with that emotion. And definitely that's why it's sing. For me, singing has always been more about the artistry of it and the communication of it than it has been about the, look at me or everybody knows me or, it's about capturing and capturing an audience and having them feel you're sharing this moment together, whether it's a hey moment or a moment, either way, you've got to grab them, you got to keep them. And I think the first time that something like that happened to me, it was funny because it scared the hell out of me. I didn't realize what was going on, but it was in an eatery, and everybody was sitting in tables talking to each other, and the keyboardist was having problems, and so I'm standing up there behind the microphone, a little bit nervous because all this time's going by while they're trying to fix this issue. And then the piano starts playing, and people are still talking and eating to themselves. And there's a window behind me that faces the street. Not the best acoustics, but it is what it is. So I started singing, and everybody stopped what they were doing, and they turned around and they looked. And I went like this, because I thought there must have been something that happened on the street behind me. And then I realized they're looking at me. So I kept singing, and it was the weirdest moment because I swear at first it freaked me out because I thought, what's going on? Oh, maybe this is okay. And even through to the end of the song, I wasn't sure that it was because of me. I thought, maybe two people are, fist fighting behind me or something. I don't know. But by the end of it, my parents are there, and I said, Mom, why were they staring at me? Oh, your voice was just so present, and it was there, and it was so good, and everybody just turned around, and they were right there. And then I thought, I want to do that every time, because it's not about them adoring me, loving me. It's about us connecting, and we connected, and it was the best feeling in the world. I loved it.
absolutely. I love it when you get into that zone and it's like sharing energy. I mean, it truly is. It's just this resonance throughout the whole audience, and that's what it's about. I love singing. Same thing with doing the TV shows. I like the live television shows when there's a whole audience there, because you can really feel that energy, and you don't have a bunch of people out in an audience like this. I mean, back in the day, you used to have like rival bands, like, yeah, I hope they screw up. But generally, people are there to have a good time, and
Right.
they want to be entertained, and if you can make that connection, it changes everything.
For sure.
So, Angela, do you have anything to add before we close this interview?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Well, it's been a great interview. I'm looking forward to hearing stuff from your band. So, singers, anyone watching this interview now or in the future, as soon as Angela has something together, if you guys get a cloud account, you have a website, a Facebook page, is it called Strings Attached? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Hmm.
Yeah. Or, even any other future band, we will add it to the description of this video, as well as on her personal page for her singer spotlight on jamievendera.com, so you can keep up on what Angela's doing, and that way you can hear her beautiful voice and hopefully be inspired to sing and push and strive to be a better singer yourself. So with that said, I bid you all adieu, and we will see you in the next Singer Spotlight.